Hey, everybody. It is Friday, and that means we're here to welcome you to the podcast. There's no crying in crochet because we don't believe in crying in crochet, but when there is, we're here to solve your frustrations and help you work your way back to happiness in crochet. That's our job, right?
Yes.
I'm Debbie from Madam Stitch, and this is my cohort in crime.
I am Biz from Busy Crochet. Welcome, everybody.
And we are here to talk today about, we're going to finish up our series about declutter, organize, get ready for all the things. But before we do, there is business to take care of. First of all, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channels, Busy Crochet and Madam Stitch Crochet, because we're always loading new things. I'm working on a couple of tutorials for things that have just released. Yes, I'm behind. They should have been done before the pattern's released, but that's life, and we're here. It happens. But subscribe, and that way you know when all of our stuff comes out. And then if you are joining us today on Facebook, make sure that you give StreamYard, our streaming service, permission to display your name, because we love to know who we're talking to. We're okay with talking to anonymous Facebook users, but it's really more fun to say your name. So that sounds like a song. Say my name, say my name. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
that was just a bad. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Pivot. And we always start every episode before we get into the meat and potatoes of our episode with a catch up. And Biz has got fabulous news to share this week.
Oh, do I? What is my news?
Yeah, about your new computer.
Oh, God, I have a new computer, you guys. So, everybody cheer, because I'm telling you what, that computer that I had was probably all of the reasons why we had glitches during our chats here, because it was just, by the time that I unplugged it from the wall, it was just a piece of crap. So now I've got one that actually moves. It, we can function. I just
look at us.
Switch out my mouse or put a new battery in, because it keeps shutting off on me. So I'm sure it's just the battery. But I'm so excited, you guys.
I'm telling you, getting new tech just sends me into orbit. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Even when I'm just replacing what I have, it's the new shiny thing. It's just so great.
It is. It's always fun to play with. Hi, Dawn.
Oh, gosh. And you started new classes this week.
Yes. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, my nose has decided it's just going to clog up. And all right. So this week's been a fun week. I started my next two classes in my, what am I going to school for? Graphic design. And these are both digital classes. And so I'm so excited because the last ones were so paper heavy. I don't think I have to write much in these two classes. So hallelujah. But other than that, so far it's going really good. It's only the first week. I'm happy with them. Seems like my professors are going to be really nice. My classmates are really nice. The subjects are going to be what I want to learn. Because I was just talking with Debbie that I really want to bring this information to the crochet community to help everybody be able to, get your graphics right and make really pretty stuff and not have to stress over it, because not everybody feels really comfortable tackling that stuff.
Yeah, we all had to start in some place, and my place was not very good. So thankfully, you've mastered a few things since starting this journey. But you're working on some really cool programs, some Adobe products that
I'm excited.
They're technically difficult, but once you learn how to use them, they're really, really cool. I use Adobe Illustrator to do my crochet charts. And my first ones were not anything to write home about, but now they're looking pretty sharp.
Yes, and you learned tips and tricks along the way that took you a long time to pick up. And that's what I kind of want to, but I'm thinking, like, even just in regular Canva, there's a bunch of little tips and tricks that you can use there that make things move faster for you.
Yes. And looking at something and knowing where to put everything on the page so that
Right.
it draws attention to the right thing. That's
Right.
what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your week, Debbie. Mine has just been the same old, same old.
Well, the big thing that happened this week was that I've shared in the past that my oldest grandson, who's a freshman in high school this year, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's a freshman in high school. Geez, a whiz. Anyway, this is his second year in high school marching band. I'm a huge band nerd. I was in marching band in high school and college. All my kids were band nerds. My husband was a band nerd. In fact, I met him in high school band and all
Oh,
of that
that's
kind of
awesome.
stuff. So we've been to every home football game that we could go to. Well, this past Wednesday night, the marching band invited family and friends, mostly family, to come to the stadium and watch them perform their halftime show, which they've been doing in competition through the fall semester.
Oh,
They
wow.
are the top ranked band in their division.
Wow.
They've been breaking records with the scores that they get in each competition. And holy cow, those kids are so good. It's a small high school, relatively speaking. And they commit so much time and energy to this band. And it's such an incredible source of pride for them. My grandson never takes off his band jacket, even when it's 80. He's sweating buckets. But he loves that organization so much. And it's so telling. It's really difficult for 14-year-olds in any area to make that kind of extreme commitment and then love it when it's all done and want to do more of it. It's his people are there. He's just found his place, and I'm so proud of him. He's just such a cool kid.
That's
and
awesome.
Band nerds unite. I love it.
See, I was a choir nerd, and but even at that, because I not traveled, but I had 3 different high schools, so I really didn't find my people in that group until college. But boy, I just like, I still remember that community, that feeling, that just that embrace from people who enjoy the same things you do.
Yeah, they compete in championships this weekend. It must be a state championship because they're traveling halfway across the state to south of Harrisburg. So
are you going?
No. Kayson's okay with that. I told him I wasn't driving 2.5 hours. I loved him, but no. So he'll text me when it's all over, which is great. So that was the highlight of my week. And, pity pat my heart is for those grandkids. They're just great.
That's awesome.
Anyway. All right. I'm going back to my banners. Let's get started with our episode this week. All right. Here we go. All right. We've taken you through this journey of decluttering your craft space, of organizing it in helpful ways. We even helped you decorate it. No, I have not put up my bunting yet and the fairy lights, but it's coming. And last week we brought you on a journey through tools that we found while we were cleaning out, and it was fun to figure those out. All right, now it's November 1st. And holiday gift giving season is coming up. So now we're going to set you up for holiday gift crochet success. All right. Who among us, raise your hand, Biz, because you'll be there too, creates a list, and then it gets to be a week before Christmas or whatever holiday you're giving gifts for, and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get them all done. And I need these supplies. And oh my gosh, I'm going to run out to the craft store. We're just a mess.
Yeah.
Right? And
I
how are we
actually
going to
stopped
get it
making
done?
lists because of that. It was when it causes you stress, it's no fun.
Right. And we're going to actually help everybody with that because, now is the time to start. So we're going to walk you through some steps to help you be a happy camper this November and December. And these are tips that you can use. If you watch this next November in 2025, you'll go, oh, those are great tips. I'm going to do that. First, we're going to reflect on that decluttering journey. Okay, right? Yeah. So it was tough because I remember when me and my younger grandson went through all the stuff in my office, and it was a gigantic mess, and it took me weeks because it was just a mind-blowing experience.
Doesn't it feel?
But now that it's done, yeah, well, there's so much stuff in here, and it was all mixed together.
Yeah.
But now I have it organized. It's not neat all the time, but I have it organized, and it's not as cluttered, and it just feels much better to be in here, right?
Yes. It just feels.
I know you've done the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Because even just moving the furniture around in my office made a difference. I still don't have it put back together. I still have stuff kind of everywhere. I haven't. It seems like just as I'm ready to start doing, something else happens, and Biz has been in bed for 2 weeks. So.
Yep.
So I still haven't completely organized my office, but even the way that it is, and the fact that I was able to get certain areas put together and organized, it just feels, it's my comfort space. It's my home.
Yeah. And I want to just put this sentence, this statement out there. Value what you've done and appreciate it, because and then work to preserve it. So don't just once and done it. We talked about this in a previous episode where you got to keep kind of looking after it so that it doesn't get into the giant mess that you had before, and you're going to be much happier as you go along.
Maintenance.
Yes, and along with that, now might not be the time to do this. So hopefully when you were putting everything together, you created an inventory of what you have. Now, Biz and I have shelves behind us that both of us have organized in a certain way. So we really don't need to inventory that stuff because we can easily see it.
Yeah.
But there are certain items you want to know what tools you've got. Mm-hmm. So I know what blocking pins I have and where they are, and all the hooks. Right?
Have we found our blocking pins?
Well, there's one place I didn't look, and no, I have not found them, but they may be in the basement. So,
okay.
Though, anyway. Anyway, if you have it organized, you should be able to see what you have. Yes. All right, now.
The goal.
Right. Reflect on your holiday gift values before you ever start anything.
Yes.
What's important to you? Well, for me, the most important thing for me is spending time with family and friends.
Yeah.
So the gift giving for me is a bonus, but it helps me show my appreciation to those who are closest to me. So those are the values that I surround myself with. What about you, Biz?
Same thing. I was just thinking when you said that the gift giving is kind of a bonus part of it. There were years when we would just kind of gather people and have people come in at Christmas and stuff like that. So I always kept things like slippers, and because we lived in Wisconsin, so it was cold, but I kept slippers and mittens and hats. And so I always had a little something to give to somebody for being there. And just, they always appreciated it, and just, but I haven't done that in a while just because we live in Florida, but.
Right. But that's part of your value structure. That was something that was important to you. So you made time to make those items because you knew how happy it would make people when you gave it out.
Yes.
So those are the kinds of things that we're talking about when we talk about your holiday gifting values. All right. Like I said, it's November 1st.
Yes.
If you're talking about Christmas, then there are lots of holidays happening all at the same time at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So whatever holiday you happen to be celebrating, create a realistic timeline.
Yes.
Don't think that, okay, I'm going to use Christmas as an example. Don't think that, oh, it's November 1st. I've got till December 25th, because you don't.
Oh.
You're you really, you got to build in a buffer there, because things come up.
Yep.
Thanksgiving is in there. Other
Yep.
holidays are in there. There are just all kinds of things going on. So take all of that into consideration and build a timeline that you can be happy with, that doesn't stress you out.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like me, because my brain goes, oh gosh, I've got until December
Yeah.
25th. It's November 1st. I'll just wait with this one. And then it's like, oh, it's November 5th. God, there's still a ton of time left. Oh, it's November 20th. Gosh, it feels like it's getting really close. I've got to
Now it's Black Friday.
And then it's December 1st. You're like, oh my God, I've really got to get this, you just keep kicking that can down the road.
Yeah, but if you know that about yourself, you can do something about it right
I do now. I've grown up a lot in my crocheting habits because I had to. God, there was one year, this is how dumb I am. I decided I learned how to knit socks, okay? And we had 11 people in our family. So I'm I almost made it. I think I had 1 or 2 pairs of socks I had to make after Christmas, but my hands hurt so bad, and it hurt so bad.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God.
I know.
Never again.
Never again. Now, when my husband and I got married, 5 hours after the wedding, we had a U-Haul packed onto the back of the car, and we left town. We're out of here. We grew up around Kansas City, Missouri. My husband's first job was in Houston. He was already living there when we got married. And so we packed up all the gifts and went, sayonara, baby. So we were a 15-hour drive from home. So every Christmas, if we didn't go home, we'd have to mail packages. So that's another thing that we live in even farther from family now. So if there's something that we want to get to them by Christmas, we have to factor in those shipping deadlines, and they get closer to Thanksgiving every year.
Yes, they do. Oh my gosh.
So that's something to consider in your time frame.
I can't guarantee it's going to be there by Christmas.
Yeah. Well, this is an aside, but I've also been known to take pictures of cut something out of a catalog and wrap it and go, you're getting this in January.
Oh, by the way.
So that this is what it'll look like. And, okay.
Look at how it looks.
Isn't it great?
Put little yarn samples in there. This is hippie idea.
You'll look great in it.
Gonna be.
All right. The next one's super, super duper important. I even have a spreadsheet for this. Identify your gift list early. Now so I used to start in July, and what I would do is I have a header for each person in the family. And even the dogs. Sorry, the dogs get a header.
Oh my God.
And then there's a Christmas list, and then there's another row of headers underneath that with all their stocking stuffers, because stockings are a big deal.
So organized.
But and I've kept it year after year, because that way I know what I've given them in the past.
Oh, smart.
I just pulled the spreadsheet out yesterday. So that's late for me, but I'm what?
I'm feeling a little behind.
No. Well, I'm adjusting my expectations.
There you go.
Right. So plus my son and his wife and grandkids are going to be gone over the Christmas holidays, starting on Christmas Eve. So I actually have till January for the 4 of them. Woohoo! So anyway, identify your gift list early.
Yeah.
Early. What do you do, Biz? How do you keep track of all your gifts?
Okay.
Putting you on the spot.
Man. I have a little white, hang on. I know I have it here. Where did you go? Here it is. So, I mean, this is my Thanksgiving menu. So that doesn't really matter. But like all of my stuff goes on a little piece of paper like this. Hopefully I don't lose it and it doesn't get misplaced. Um, but for the most part, I don't make much for my family anymore, only because my daughter is so specific in her style that I can't make anything for her. I think I might start making things for the baby because Maisie is so new, and
you have to do that.
yeah,
Come
toys
on.
and stuff like that. That's fun, but they're just nobody. I've been doing it so long, nobody appreciates anything anymore. So it just isn't the same. So the ones that I was making stuff for though would be my brother's family up in Minnesota because we live so far away from each other. And so when you said that, mailing out the presents thing, that was something that I had to really, really pay attention to. I had to start back in October or September, getting everything done and worked on because I had to get it mailed by like December 1st because not only was it Christmas stuff, but two of them have birthdays in December. And so we would just get this big old honking box of stuff together and mail it up to them. There have been years where that didn't get mailed till January just because. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the expectation of everything being done by Christmas or whatever you happen to celebrate, you have to pull everything earlier. If it's not such a big deal, then January is a viable option. Although I tell you what, I have this mental block. Christmas Day comes, the day after Christmas comes, and I'm like, done. And I cannot motivate myself to do one more Christmas gift. Not one. So I have to get them done beforehand.
To start making things like ornaments because I like making them because they're super fast. And I can give them out to everybody. I stick them on packages, all that kind of stuff. And everybody likes an ornament. Down here where I used to give away the slippers and the mittens and the hats and all this stuff, can't do that in Florida because you can only wear it for about 3 weeks. And most people just go to the dollar store and, buy one. But yeah, it moving from Wisconsin to Florida really flipped my Christmas list because it was easy before because everybody needed stuff. And now you really have to think about things before you make them.
Yeah, I living in Houston for 8 years, I didn't own a winter coat. I would pull out the sweaters and then die of heat stroke because I needed to wear the sweaters. But yeah, so anyway. All right. This one is a quickie, super easy. You've created your gift list. You know who you're going to give to. Create a project plan. Know how long those things are going to take and how much time you have to spend on them, right? So now might not be the time to pull out a blanket if you've got a bunch of other stuff to make. If you've got a lot of activities to attend, it has to be mailed. You have to order your yarn, all that kind of stuff. Just consider how much time it's going to take and plan accordingly.
Typically, unless it's the only thing I'm working on, I won't even start a blanket for the holidays at this time.
Yeah. And along with that is set realistic goals. So for whatever time you've got left and what you want to do, my crochet eyes are much bigger than what I can actually get done. And almost every Christmas I'm adjusting, okay, this can become this, or I can go shop my stash and then I'll give this to them for their birthday, stuff like that.
Yes.
So there's been I'm great at adjusting.
The Christmas of good intentions. That's what we should.
Exactly.
Intention gift. That's that card that we were talking about. The pictures with the scrap of yarn.
That's only if it's going to get done. And remember, December 26th, I don't want to make these anymore. So there's another point in being realistic is if it's not done, don't give them a picture because they may never get it.
Oh my God.
All right. If you set a budget for your holiday gift giving, which I tend not to do, but I've got this great spidey sense when I'm starting to approach the point of no return.
Yeah.
But if you set a budget and say, I'm not going to go over this, then that sort of helps you determine what your crochet projects are, right?
I try to set a budget, but I'm terrible at sticking to it for Christmas because I always find that one more thing. And it's usually because my kids. So I'll say, well, I want their main gift because we always do. I didn't raise my kids to believe in Santa, but we always gave them a gift from Santa every year, and it was always kind of the big joke for us. So the big present from Santa, we would always say like, well, that's got this dollar amount on it, and then I'd be like, well, then I don't want, like I'd do this little list, but then I'd find something and I'd be like, oh, I gotta okay, that one
Yeah.
by this much. And then I would find something, oh, I gotta increase that one by this much. So by the
Oh
time
my gosh.
I'm done, I'm like, holy cow, I spent way too much money for Christmas. Yes. Like sticking to a budget is so hard for me. I mean, I should say that. My household budget, boom shakalaka. I never vary from it. But when it comes to gift giving, forget about it.
Well, we have such generous hearts. That's yeah, and crocheters are typically very generous with their giving.
And it's such a fun way to have an excuse to go spend money.
Yeah.
It's just
well, given the drought of yarn shops and craft stores in my area, I have to order most everything. So that kind of puts a crimp in my style if I wait too late.
See where that would keep me from being too crazy.
Yep. All right. Along with all of this other stuff that we've just mentioned, choose manageable patterns. Now is not the time to learn a new technique, y'all. Now is not the time.
The oversized pattern that you're like, I don't want to spend that much money on a pattern. I'd much rather figure this out on my own.
Oh, holy cow. Just spend the $4 or $5. Please. It's not worth the effort at this point. Then design it some other time, but not now. If you've never done tapestry crochet or mosaic crochet or Tunisian crochet or anything like that, don't pick a project with one of those in it because you will drive yourself nuts. So do it in January.
Make yourself Christmas coasters. They're nice and small.
Oh, that's a cool one. Yep.
You can do the new technique, learn the thing, and have something really cute at the end, but don't make an Afghan.
Oh, gosh, don't do that sweater that's got a picture of a Christmas tree with 5,000 ornaments on it. No. Please don't do that one.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. Anyway. This is a great one. Okay, so now you've got your organized craft room, but now we're going to dial it down and micromanage it. You've got your projects, you've got your yarn, your hooks, all that stuff in the patterns. Get a place where you can grab those things in a quick hurry. Find a table that can be dedicated to Christmas stuff. Mm-hmm. Find a big basket, a laundry basket, a tub, right? Take each one of those projects, give it its own bag, even if it's just a plastic
Walmart bag. Are amazing at that.
Right? Yep. Or grocery bags, whatever. But every project has its own bag and you know exactly what's in it.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
So make sure you do that because that's super important. I do that all the time and it saves me so much time and effort.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. This one's not so easy for me, Biz. Maybe it is for you, but maintain a clutter-free environment. Yet not happening, no. But it's a nice thing to aspire to.
It is. It's a dream. It's #goals, I want to be organized someday.
Yeah, the table by my chair in the family room, which is an end table with a lamp on it, has plenty of space around it. And I know I'm in trouble when it starts to rise to the level of the tabletop from the floor. So that's when I go in on a Saturday or Sunday and go, no, out, and find it, because oh my goodness, it's just, oh, but that's a great one. Just every time you stop crocheting, put it back in the project bag, clean up your space. I know it seems like the drudge of the earth, but
It
it's
is
so
the
worth it.
earth.
So worth it.
It's not convenient, but
No, it's not. Well, see, this goes through my head, and I'm sure you're the same. I'm just going to be working on that again
yeah.
tomorrow, first thing in the morning. So I don't need to put it to, away before bed. But
Mhm.
then I find something else to do. And then it's been sitting, and then I lose interest and have to work. It's just a vicious cycle.
It is. It's
Oh
terrible.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's great to know
But
that I'm not
this is what,
the slob.
oh, you're totally not the only one. This is one that you were talking about. I'm gonna let you take this one, craft in batches.
Batches.
This is the one that you have down pat.
Yes. If you well, let's see. I'm just gonna. Have you considered giving the same thing to multiple recipients? So this is just my personality. So I don't know that I necessarily planned it this way, but I have a tendency to get on a pattern jag, and I will find a pattern that I'm like, oh my god, I love this pattern, and I've got to make 75 of them, or and, it's just like I have to make it in every color, and then all of a sudden I'll look at it one day and I'll go like, I'm not ever touching that again.
I hate that pattern.
Then I might fall short of because I'll be like, I'm going to make so many in this color and I'm going to make so many in this size and I'm going to, but then I get about 7 or 8 into them and I'm like, that's just going to have to do because I'm tired of this one. So but it's a good way to actually get a lot done. Where you find a pattern that you like, set that pattern as the one. This is what I'm working on right now. Give yourself permission to be very open and fun with what you're doing. Find colors that make you happy while you're working.
Oh yeah.
That kind of stuff. It makes a big difference if you're working on it, because if I find something that maybe that's a fun variegated or it's color changing where it's the gradients or whatever, if I've got something to look forward to in my project, a lot of times it helps me to keep going because I want to see what happens next. And so
yeah.
And then it says, if you're putting together gift baskets with a personal touch, combine the same items with your personal handmade gifts. I have a girlfriend who actually she sells both soaps and crocheted items. She takes her soap line, she creates baskets for it and scrubs and washcloths and stuff like that. And so she mixes and matches her stuff together, creates baskets out of it that she sells at Christmas time. You can do the same thing with the things that you're making. A lot of times I keep dishcloths and what are those called? Hot pads on hand because they're just my in-betweener things. And my mother-in-law will usually call me and she'll be like, I need like 7 new dishcloths. You got any on hand? And I'll be like, yeah, we got a stack like this, because I've been working on it. But those make amazing, because you had mentioned at the beginning of our show that there's more than just Christmas happening. There's Thanksgiving, there's Boxing Day, there's all of these things, there's Hanukkah, and you're going to be having parties and you're going to be going to functions and there's going to be a hostess. And I'm a big fan of hostess gifts. Thank you for hosting this, event. And just take and wrap up some really cute little cotton dishcloths with a pretty bow and get it to them. They appreciate it so much. It doesn't have to be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to just put a plug in there for Mindful Crochet, because those small projects, while they garner you a whole lot of gifts that you can give out at also your brain shut. Holidays are intense, so it gives you a chance to sit and lose yourself a little bit when you're a dishcloth or a hot or something.
So my computer is either glitching or something happened and everything paused, and I didn't really hear anything you just said.
Oh, connection is unstable. Well, can you hear me now?
I can. So do it again.
Okay. Oh, well, I just wanted to remind everybody that mindful crochet is a wonderful way to craft in batches.
Yeah.
Those little projects, right? Make
Yes.
it
And
really
actually,
easy.
Dawn, a couple of comments ago, she said, I'm working on little amigurumi prizes for bingo. That's fun.
Mhm.
And I know that in our show before, we have brought up things like the RAOKCK, I don't know, random acts of crochet kindness, where people leave little things sitting around for others to find with a cheer you up note and stuff like that. A lot of that kind of stuff can be done as well. And, Christmassy related or fall related or something like that. Those things, people just love them. And I've
Yeah.
even seen where people are doing crocheted stuff for trick-or-treaters now instead of giving out candy.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, little ghosts and spiders,
Um,
stuff like that.
Along with that mindful crochet, take breaks for self-care. Take a walk, read a book, watch a
Yes,
TV show, a crime drama.
yes.
Um,
Specifically
just
crime dramas.
I feel like I need to just keep after it till it's all done, right?
Yeah,
But a lot of times you just need to take a break, and then you'll come back and you might be able to crochet faster because you
yeah,
took a break,
yeah.
and you'll like it more,
And
right?
I feel like I've taken a couple of months break, and I've had a hard time. I kind of lost my crojo for a minute there because I'd gotten so used to not crocheting that I was like, I don't feel like sitting there and doing this, except that I've got I've got things that I've got on a deadline I have to get done, and so I've been making myself do the
Mhm.
crochet, and it's weird how, when you're in it and you're doing it, like the creativity flows. This time I looked at it like a blank slate, like I have no idea what I'm going to do because I got to design two things, and I'm like,
Uh, that's a lot. That actually
there's
freaks me
nothing
out.
in here.
That actually freaks me out a little bit.
So don't take a 3 month break.
No, I can't. No, no, crochet is like part of my being. I just can't.
You just can't do
Um,
it.
craft with purpose and joy. We're not going to spend a lot of time on
Yeah.
this one, but remember, crochet is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be a chore.
Yep.
So if it gets to be a chore, take it, just
If
find
it
something
stresses
else
you
to
out,
do
walk
for that
away for a
person.
minute.
Yeah, walk away. All right. Create a gift staging area. I love this one because it's not just about crochet. You need to wrap those gifts.
You
You need
do.
to have a place where everything is available to you and where you can put the finished items. So we don't put our Christmas tree up until the day after Black Friday. That's when we get our Christmas tree, which is fairly early. But I don't wrap anything I don't do anything Christmas until after Black Friday is over. So if I'm making stuff now, I have to have a place where those hang out
Mhm.
while they're, being finished and all of that stuff. Holiday tags,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Biz, have you ever done this one? Have you ever had anybody in your family help you with stuff? Now, you don't have other crocheters in your family, but have you had anybody help you with Christmas stuff like,
Yeah. I mean,
um
when the kids were little, we used to always take one of them in the room with us and we would wrap gifts and stuff like that. Otherwise,
mm,
no, I've really not had a lot of assistance as far as that stuff is concerned. Um, because I tend to be very anal and I like my edges crisp and I like the thing to look. I have a hard time with the and then strap something.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So if you've got reliable help, either
but
somebody who crochets that you have faith in or wrapping or something like that,
I
enlist
promise that
other
I
people.
didn't say mean things to my kids though. I would always let them, whatever they did was perfect.
Yeah, but then they grow up and that's not so cool anymore. So anyway,
Moving right along.
All right, we've got our list. The next one, I love this one because I am the check it off the list queen, and that makes me feel good.
That's a
My
list.
daughter
That's so
has this
wonderful.
notebook, which is bigger than this one, and she writes really tiny, tiny, tiny. And she breaks stuff up into little tiny tasks so that she can just go boop, off, done, there we are. And then she's got all this stuff marked off. It's this mental game she plays with
Okay.
herself.
Okay.
But check the projects off your list as you make them.
Yes.
In my spreadsheet, that cell turns yellow when I buy the stuff, and it turns green when it's done.
Oh, nice.
So I can just look at my spreadsheet and go, okay, I know where I am. If there's way too much yellow or there's too much white, which means I haven't even bought the stuff, and we're in trouble.
Then
So, but celebrate your progress and your wins because, pat yourself on the back for getting some things done.
have a piece of cheese.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay,
so not. Oh, right.
The 22nd.
I remember what day, but
Yeah,
you just said it, so now I can't be
this
smart.
year that I was going to do cheesecake for my birthday. I'm sorry, I just got totally yes. And my daughter's like, "You have to make it, Mom." Okay, that's fine.
Happy birthday to me.
Right. So,
oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right. The last one on our list is think about the presentation. So I invariably get to the day when things need to be wrapped, which is Christmas Eve.
Oh, do you wait that long? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I kind of do because I'm bad that way. But anyway, I don't do it all then. But I might be out of tape. I might have been thinking I had bows left over from last year, and holy cow, there aren't any. So I am scrambling for stuff. Prepare, get stuff gathered. But also, you love to do eco gift wrapping, don't you?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yes, talk about that a little bit.
So I'm a big fan of brown paper wrapping. It's just very, very simple. It okay, so it doesn't have the same dyes. They don't have to go through the same processes. Eco-wise, it's less harmful to the environment just because it's basic paper. And so I'm a fan of it. Besides that, if you want to do that, you can get paint and do stamps all over it if you are into that kind of stuff. I also like to recycle my everything. I keep all my stuffing papers and my old bags and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm not quite as bad as my brother and my sister-in-law. There was one Christmas that we went up there, and they were taking every single piece of wrapping paper, and when they opened up, they were super careful. They had some of they've been married for 20 some odd years at that point. They had some of the same tissue paper from when they first got married. I'm like, you people are weird. So I'm not quite that bad, but I do like to use I keep my stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining.
I shake my head too. And I just sat there and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? Like, come on, people. 20 years, the piece of paper is 20 years old. Throw it out. And I know at that point you've got like years invested in this piece of tissue.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea of the brown paper because it can be decorated in so many different ways. I wouldn't advise glitter. If that came to mind, I thought, no, maybe not that. But twine and rope and things that you can repurpose for other stuff. But that's also a great way to crochet something special for the recipient, like an ornament or
packaged like decorations are the fun part with that, because even if you don't have ribbon or something like that, you can crochet a long chain and use it to I mean, you can do so much with it.
Yeah, yarn bomb that brown paper bag. It's fabulous. Fabulous. So there are a lot of yarn scraps. you can make into pom-poms or something would be great.
Yeah.
There are lots of makers on Etsy that have printable gift tags
Yep.
and labels and things like that. So there are lots of ways that you can do your part for the environment as well as personalize that package so you're not spending a butt ton of money.
Yes. Yes. Because I end up with inevitably my daughter always goes out because she likes to have her shiny paper. So she goes out and she buys whatever she wants. Well, for whatever reason, I end up with these rolls floating around my house. And I've got, so over the years, I've got this huge collection of stuff and we try to use it up. But, when you're buying new ones every year and you're not buying enough gifts to actually use up all that paper.
Right. I think that's why I don't buy new ones every year. I think that's why I end up, very close to Christmas going, oh, wow, I didn't plan that very well, did I? So I think maybe I should go the brown paper route and decorate them.
So
I think that
nice.
I love that. Or there's newspaper print too. Not
Yes.
actual newspaper,
Yes.
but newspaper print's really great too.
Another thing too is you were saying thoughtful presentation. I usually wrap all of my daughter's presents in one style package or wrapping paper, and I do my son's in another. That'll include like all the ribbons on his are a color and all the ribbons on hers are a color, just because I don't know. I just have this vision in my head of the perfect Christmas tree with the brown paper packages tied up with string. It doesn't always.
Oh my gosh.
But
Well, that's a song. I know that's a song. No, I'm
yeah.
not going to sing it, but yeah, that's a song. Okay. Anyway, I hope this list has been helpful. It is November 1st.
Yeah.
So it's time to start implementing some of these things. But if you
Solid.
forget any of them, you can certainly go back and hit replay and stop and listen and whatever. But these, I think, will help you be as stress-free as possible as you approach the holiday gift-giving season.
Yes. And Dawn
Anything to
also
add?
said, she said, I also go for the sales after
Yep.
the holidays. That's a really great way to
Yep.
also help your budget for the next year.
Now, there's one problem with that, Dawn. If you're buying it December 26th or in January, you better know where you stored it, because I'm the master of going, that looks like a logical place. Let me put it there, and then never seeing it again. AKA my blocking pins for the granny scoreboard. So it's a great idea, but make note of where you put it. So just saying.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
I will say this. They make saran wrap on a little, the things that you brush yourself off with for fur. They make, it looks like that, but it's saran wrap. Those make really great for keeping in the house if you are, for instance, you're bored in your sticks. Saran wrap that sucker on there. You'll never lose them again.
Lord.
We use it every time we move.
Well, I tell you what, when we're finished with this broadcast, I'm going to the basement. We'll see if it's in that one tub.
Cheering you on. I hope, hopefully they're there.
Okay. Anyway. All right, Biz.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you been watching this week?
Okay, so I've been absolutely obsessed with that show, A Discovery of Witches on Netflix. It usually, like I said last week, that those kinds of shows usually are not my bag. And there's a couple of spots in there where like, this is edging a little towards Twilight, but it's just such a really good story. And it travels through time, and it just has a really good story. And I think that's what's sucked me into it, is because I fell in love with the characters. There've been a couple of times where there's been like these really emotional moments where like they're back in time and the guy gets to see his dad who is in normal time dead. And so he gets to reconcile with him. She gets to have like this dad moment. I'm like, oh God, just crying. So, I mean, Oh, Roxanne loves that show. It's really good, and it's very well acted. So,
Perfect. Yeah, it's on my to-do list. But like I said, I can only watch Netflix on the weekend because we're trying, I don't want to do the account sharing thing when my daughter
right,
lives in a separate house, but she's here all weekend, so that counts.
right.
Baseball is done. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. I could not watch the Dodgers and Yankees. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
We're rivals with the Yankees. When you live this close to New York and Philadelphia is your team, the Mets and the Yankees, you just want to go, just stop already.
Can we just move
But
along?
and the Dodgers were the biggest rival of the Phillies this year. So I'm like, I just couldn't watch it. So I would watch other stuff while my husband, and then after I went to bed, I go, here's the remote. You watch it. But the Eagles are finally winning. They finally figured out how to play football. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So that's been fun. And just catching up on the network shows. CBS is my jam. So I've been watching those, not in real time because it's after my bedtime, but I watch those. I try to keep up with those. So anyway, that's my jam and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, when I'm with the family, it's all Survivor and cooking, competition shows and stuff like that. But for me, during the day, excuse me, when I'm having my crochet time and stuff like that, or I'm laying in my bed because I've screwed up my back again, what I'm watching is a Discovery of Witches. It's just been, I just started season 3. So I'm almost done with it. And I'm like, what am I going to do after this?
I know, that's really tough. I hate finishing a show. You want to, but you don't want to. Because it's like finishing a crochet project.
Exactly.
What do I do
and
now?
What am I going to do with my life?
There's always something.
But I can't wait to show you Maisie again, too, my little granddaughter. She has gotten so big and she has gotten so vibrant, and she smiles and coos and talks, and she wants to walk already, and she just turned 3 months. I mean, she's so strong. And so I can't wait to have her on here again and have you guys meet her. I mean, I realized that the last time all you saw was the back of her head, but but yeah, it's gonna be Yaya and Maisie Day on November 11th because Stephanie's got a teacher thing she's got to do at school. But we're doing good with the baby too. Steph works really late at the daycare, and so the baby's with her all the time. And so there's a lot of nights actually. She comes home and she's like, you know what? I don't want anybody but my mom, and she will scream bloody murder. But then there are sometimes she comes home and she's just like, hi, your little snuffle bug has walked through the door. She's just so adorable. But yeah, we're enjoying her. Other than that, I got nothing going on.
No, we're hot and heavy into making all the Christmas things. So
yes.
This episode will be my best friend for the next 2 months. So just saying. All right, my friends, we have reached the end of our episode as we always do. And we were so thrilled to have all of you join us live, and so thrilled to have all of you who are going to watch this on replay, because we are just loving having this discussion with you every week. So from me and Biz, thank you for being with us for this episode of There's No Crying in Crochet. And like we said, subscribe so that you know when the next episode is coming out and what we'll be talking about. So until next time, bye, Roxanne. We will see you then.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.